Is you ready for me? 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 Spotless. Check it. Check it. Is you ready for me?
What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you won't call me. And we are back for another one. Alright, y'all. We got them new topics. Why Errol Spence Jr. refuses to sign the Terence Crawford fight contract. Alright, y'all, so there's some big news going around about Blueblood, Terence Crawford, and the Errol Spence Jr. fight contract. Now, I want to make this clear. I'm not in the inner circle, but as an adult, as a intelligent human being, and as a boxing analyst, I want to try to break down what's going on just a little bit. Because Terence Crawford is not the most popular boxer in the world, he's been attempting to do things over the past few months to promote himself. Plus, he no longer has a promoter. So he's been attempting to make himself more popular by going to certain events, by being in certain public eyes, by featuring himself on certain big blogs or YouTube channels, just to get his name out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with trying to negotiate a contract within the public. There is something wrong with trying to paint a narrative when you ask for a closed space negotiation yourself. You said you didn't want to do it within the public space. And there's something wrong with trying to make it seem like there is something going on when there's not, just to try to make news.
So the drama continues. Welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr., WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford, Blueblood of Blueblood Sports TV, at a 7-Eleven in Newark, New Jersey, ran into Terence Crawford randomly.
I'm not trying to call Blueblood a liar. I don't even really watch his content. I know his character. But I do know it's kind of weird that Terence Crawford ran into him randomly at a gas station, and that Terence Crawford asked for him to put this certain news out there to the public. I find that kind of awkward, and it seems more like a publicity stunt than anything. Here's some things we all do know. There is a contract out there, and that the lawyers, according to ESPN, had to clean up the wording of the contract so it was agreeable for both sides to sign off. Now, obviously, there was something in that contract that Terence Crawford found appealing, if according to him and Blueblood Sports, he already signed. Now, I do know this about contracts. When they involve two people signing, normally they don't just allow for one party to sign off on the contract, because it creates a conflict. Now, I'm not saying that they don't sometimes do it that way. Contracts can be signed with one party signing and then another party signing later, but a lot of times, and especially with a fight this big and with so much press surrounding the negotiation process, I doubt that they would have, and this is why, I doubt that they would have Errol Spence Jr.'s lawyers cleaning up the wording of the contract, but Terence Crawford has already signed a version of the contract. So what I'm saying is this: there's no way he could have signed that contract and then Errol Spence Jr.'s lawyers go reword the contract, because he would have to then sign off on a different contract, but he's already signed to another contract. So that doesn't even make sense, and that seems pretty fishy and illegal to be doing that to a contract. So if Errol Spence Jr.'s lawyers are still cleaning up the wording of that contract, there's no way Terence Crawford could have signed the contract. So that kind of ends it right there. But here's another point. They said that they are cleaning up the wording of the contract. Why would they be cleaning up the wording? And to me, this would be one reason why Errol Spence Jr. hasn't signed off yet. There was wording in that contract stating that the loser could garner a rematch immediately after the fight if he so chooses to. And to me, that was the one thing that really stuck out, and I wanted to have a further conversation about it in the video I made a few days ago, but it would have ran the video on too long. But it stated about that rematch clause. And to me, I've been saying for a while, I don't think Errol Spence wants to stick around 147 too much longer. And that could be a reason he didn't want to sign off on that version of the contract and sent it back to his lawyers to reword that portion of the contract. You got to remember, this guy, he's had trouble making weight. He doesn't like making 147 weight anymore. He's already pretty much a middleweight now, and he's probably going to go into this fight as a middleweight. Now, the second reason could be that he wants some type of rehydration clause in there. They never mentioned that, and you can go back to my video and check that because I read off the whole ESPN article. They never mentioned anything about a rehydration clause in there as well. So he might have wanted his lawyers to add that into the contract as well. If Blue Blood really ran into Terence Crawford, I wouldn't be surprised if he was so shook up by Terence Crawford and seeing him in public and face to face that he would have said anything to honor Terence Crawford. Now, here's another thing as well. If these guys actually met and Terence Crawford actually said that, Blue Blood always has a camera. Why is there no footage being shown of this? Because this would be in a perfect moment, and if Terence Crawford has some version of that contract, if he's putting that out in the public, obviously he's not going to get in any trouble for making stipulations of the contract public already. So why wouldn't he just show that to Blue Blood to prove his point? Like, hey, look, I've signed my portion. Here's something on my phone. Hey, as proof, show it to your subscribers and your fan base on YouTube so people can stop saying what they're saying about me. Since none of this exists, the whole situation, I'm not going to call him a liar and say he didn't run into Terence Crawford, but I think it probably went a little different than what he's saying. He probably saw Terence Crawford, got shook because Terence Crawford could whoop his A for real, and Terence Crawford told him to put out such and such. Hey, he's a fan at that moment, so he would have put out whatever Terence Crawford told him to put out. So, you know, I think I'm going to leave it there. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Is it true what they're saying, or could it be that there is no rehydration clause in the contract and that Errol Spence Jr. might not want to rematch this fight anyway? He might just want to move up to 154. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there if you want a response. It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you want to call me, and we are out of here.
Yeah.